Their patience. It is 5:37 now on this Tuesday morning. Kelsey's here with a look at our traffic and probably our final quiet morning.
Right.
At least for the next few days.
It sounds like what Keith has told us is coming our way will not be easy to drive in, especially for those of you in western Minnesota. But today, we might see some more wet stuff like yesterday.
But for now, it's okay.
For now, we're dry. A live look for you outside. You can see for yourself. Moved out a little bit, left our roadways wet, but the rain itself coming down, no longer an issue. Then the fog started to become very visible to those of you up in the northwest. Today, we're starting off looking pretty good then when you compare it to what we had on our Monday morning. So Tuesday, dry so far, but again, in some places you will start to see some of the wet action. 35 though on the far north side. Southbound traffic already building here at the Forest Lake split just before 35E and 35W branch off from one another. And a look at one other spot out there in our Twin Cities roadways, 94 at 52. It is very common to see 52 northbound traffic a little crowded as you try and reach that junction at 94, but so far still plenty of room to move. That is the case then when we look across the entire Twin Cities area. Quite a bit of green out there at this hour. That is pretty common for this early in the morning, and we'll continue to see that hopefully until about 7 o'clock, especially since right now we don't have the rain coming down quite as hard as we did yesterday at this time. Looking toward the airport, yesterday we did have some delays weather related through the Chicago area today. If you're traveling via airplane, it looks like you're going to be just fine. Our flights in and out of the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport looking good. If you do fill up the gas tank today, we continue to see prices decline. That's good to see. The cheapest right now in the Twin Cities being found at $3.39 in several different locations. So happy buying when you fill up the tank today. The time is 5:39. Let's get over to weather then and do our weather on the nines with Keith. Morning, everyone. Well, I'm keeping an eye on the cameras, especially as far south as they go here in our little world of Metro Transit MnDOT. 212 at Highway 41. This is over in Chaska. We do see in the Southwest Metro traffic fairly light levels right now. We don't see the rain here quite yet. We look in another spot on the south side, 35 or 169 rather, over in Shakopee at County Road 83, and it looks like we could maybe see a little moisture hitting that camera. So it is moving in, and we do see that while we'll probably handle the moisture okay today, the wet factor, much like we did yesterday, did pretty well, right? But as it gets messier, as we progress into tonight and tomorrow, as Keith mentioned, be prepared for some messy road conditions. It's not very common that in April we'd be dealing with winter driving, but that just will simply be the case. We want to make sure we're preparing ourselves for some morning commutes that will be a little slippery. All right, let's go to our map and show you the speeds in all areas in the Twin Cities right now. And so far, no major backups. We are crash-free, no stalled vehicles getting in your way up in the Northwest Metro. We don't have the fog to contend with, nor the rain that we had yesterday up there in the Northeast Metro. We did have some traffic building 35 just before that Forest Lake split, but still fairly quiet over here. Some 36 westbound traffic building from that junction of 694 heading over toward Highway 61. A little farther to our south. 94 looking good as you peek over onto the Wisconsin side, crossing over that bridge and heading towards St. Paul. We keep it at 55 miles per hour, basically that entire stretch. Southwest Metro, same goes here. But again, we'll start to see that rain creeping up as we progress into the morning. So stay tuned. I'll let you know when we start to see it in any significant fashion right here in the Twin Cities. All right, Tom, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Kelsey. It is 5.
Well, we're keeping it dry, although I see a drop once in a while. We'll show you how things are possibly slowing as we progress into our wet morning. Just breaking down, looks like moving forward, we're going to be dealing with some challenging travel conditions in the Twin Cities area today. We're still waiting on a little bit of rain to move on in. So far, mostly dry roadways. We don't see the rain slowing us down. And in fact, yesterday we did fairly well, despite the fact our early part of our morning commute involved quite a bit of rain. Some of you saying you saw some standing water. You drove in some of that rain, put those windshield wipers on high, but didn't see any big slowdown. So good news there. Unfortunately, moving forward, just prepare. We're going to take those winter driving skills back out of retirement. 494 over on the west side here at Carlson Parkway in Plymouth. Southbound traffic continues to build at this hour. North side fairly empty. We have light levels, generally speaking, across all of our metro roadways at this hour. 494 at 24th Avenue along that Bloomington corridor. This is a busy interstate all morning long. To start us off, though, we're still moving at the posted speed. We're keeping it at the posted speed in most spots. We don't have any crashes so far today. That's good news. About this time yesterday, we already had a few incidents. So we're starting off at least on a better note than our Monday. Highway 10 up in Coon Rapids, eastbound traffic a little bit heavier here. Again, pretty common. Let's go to our map then and show you the color across the entire area. Unless you're traveling along some of those roadways like Highway 65 where you have some stoplights, you're probably not putting the brakes on too much yet, but we'll see as the rain moves up from the south how we start to fare. Speeds will likely come down, but of course that's what I'm here for, to let you know how our situation will be changing throughout the day and to see where it might get a little slow going. I'll keep you posted on all that, guys.
All right, thank you.
Hello everyone, happy Tuesday to you. Thanks for waking up with the Fox 9 Morning News. Another day with the chance of rain here in the Twin Cities. Yesterday didn't seem to cause any dramatic delays for our morning commuters. Today we're still waiting for the rain down in the south part of the state to move up toward us. So far keeping an eye on some of the southernmost cameras I have, and 169 at County Road 18 just north of Shakopee. We're still driving dry. Hopefully we'll keep it for your sake if you're heading out the door sometime soon. A little precipitation just causes people to put the brakes on, which actually is what's advised by safety officials. So try not to resent it if at all possible. 35 via Victoria Street here. We do see traffic levels getting a little heavier at this hour as we get close to 7 o'clock. Pretty common, but we don't have any major slowdowns. It is nice to see that we are crash free. Any construction that was being done likely on hold because there's some rain coming, and of course the chance for snow this week. Keep in mind, even though today will probably feel like a pretty decent morning commute, we're going to be dealing with some much messier conditions out there on our roadways. And the way you're heading in the right direction because we are keeping it green. 55 miles per hour better in a lot of places. We are starting to see that 35W southbound traffic heavy through the New Brighton area. That's just on the southbound side. In the southeast metro, a little orange as you travel 494 toward that 61 junction. So it's a little early for some slowdowns there, but no incident that's going to cause any major delays. The time is 6:27 on the south side at Cliff Road. I am noticing some brake lights in the area a little bit earlier than normal. It's only 6:41 and already some slowdowns, so do prepare for that as you travel from that Burnsville split up north toward that Minnesota River Bridge. To a few other spots in town, we see some of the common traffic levels for this hour. 494 westbound at 35W. Heavy traffic here. This may be actually slowing a little bit earlier than normal as well, but at this junction at 35W where there's a lot of merging going on, it is not uncommon to see those reduced speeds. And this is also one of the corridors that really stays full the longest. You can expect the slowdowns into the 8 o'clock hour. At 169, southbound traffic continues to be heavy, and we do still have that construction going on 93rd Avenue over Highway 169 that can contribute to some additional traffic. Something to keep in mind, it is construction season, even though it doesn't feel like it. To the map we go, not a lot of spots where we have to say, hey, watch for this, we're really slowing down, but you do start to see some of this orange color popping up in regions showing us that people have headed out. They are joining the forces, and that does mean we are heading into that morning rush when things get a little full out there. So stay tuned. I'll let you know if that weather does start to affect things around here. We know in the coming days it certainly will. Guys, thank you. We'll give you a live look at where some of the slowdowns are for our Tuesday morning commuters. Seeing obviously the snow quite yet, that's coming. We can look forward to that. But today we are seeing the wet stuff. Now we're catching a few of those probably almost said snowflakes. Raindrops here at 35. I'm so used to saying it. I wonder how that happened. County Road 50. So this is down in Lakeville as you're traveling northbound. Traffic, though, seems to be moving along nicely. It's not a heavy rain so far, so we're not seeing drivers slam the brakes on, although I did notice at 35, just north of the Burnsville split, a drop here and there as well. And there we are seeing some heavy traffic. Not that uncommon on 35W northbound near Cliff Road to be heavy, but just something I did observe. 62 at Penn Avenue, so along the crosstown in both directions. Plenty of activity, but are we seeing any major delays? No, we have been crash free all morning. That is great news in the Twin Cities. It seems like we can't get through a morning no matter how nice it is without at least a few incidents. 94 up in the Northwest Metro, some thick traffic coming to the Maple Grove area. In fact, if we take a look at our map, you can see despite the fact that it's pretty dry up there on the north side, we have a little heavy traffic even west of Rogers coming in to that St. Michael area. I've been told that some quick merges around that Highway 241 spot that contributes to the orange color we're seeing there, which, you know, means about 15 to 34 miles per hour. To the northeast metro then, we see 35W southbound doing what it does around this time of day, starting to slow, especially at that junction of Highway 10. Highway 10 a little farther to the northwest there, up in Anoka to Coon Rapids, eastbound traffic putting the brakes on just a little bit. No crashes up there, just looks like drivers are taking a little slower than usual. A little farther to our south, 35W, as I mentioned, that's where we're seeing the slowdown, despite the fact the rain is pushing up from a little bit farther south. 494 corridor slow going in the westbound direction, not surprised. I'm sure to hear that a lot of that congestion is related to some construction going on. All right, the time is 7:13, and let's get off of traffic talk for a little while and get back over to Tom and Alex.
All right, thank you, Kelsey.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We've been waiting for the rain to move into the metro, and it has. We are seeing some wet roadways. Nothing dramatic quite yet. The rain just coming down in drip drops here and there, and we are seeing, though, a little bit of a slowdown just north of here. So I want to show you that. This is 35 at County Road 50. So this is down in Lakeville, where we first saw that rain reach us. It did come down from the south. 35 east southbound into St. Paul, now seeing those 7 o'clock hour congestion levels. That's just people trying to get into the downtown area. And on the south side, as I said, that rain is moving up, so we'll start start to see that affect travel on 169 a little bit here in 35W, maybe even some in Chaska. A little bit early this morning, we saw some drops there as well. Keep my eye on it for you, so stay tuned. The time is 7:26. We're going to go see now what Emma Roscoe is up to this Tuesday morning.
And grinding it out on the roads.
It all depends on your attitude. Considering what we have coming for us tomorrow and the next day in the world of travel, kind of messy, that rainy snow mix where it creates those slick conditions that you can't quite predict. Well, that's coming. So today you might just say, wow, today actually feels pretty good. But we do have a few factors working against us. One, the rain that started down in the southern part of Minnesota has now made its way into the metro, showing you just even 30 minutes ago those raindrops falling in Lakeville. It's now progressed northward. So here's a look at the crosstown at Tracy Avenue. We already see some slow moving traffic. Not uncommon to see some heavy congestion here, but I can tell now that the rain has reached this area, we're starting to see greater slowdowns here. Nothing in the way of any downpour, but we do start to see some wet road surfaces. The crosstown at Highway 100, so right in that same area. I want to show you whether it's not crazy. We're not hydroplaning and seeing tons of standing water, but just enough to slow us down a little bit. I'll be standing by, let you know in another 10 minutes how things are shaping up, but I'm guessing it's going to stay slow. But Keith Marler, he's our weather expert, and it's, hey everyone, thanks for waking up with us this morning. I'm Kelsey Soby. The time now is 7:56. We saw that rain creeping into the metro starting about an hour ago, and it's now moved northward. We do have a few incidents out there and a few spots feeling like some definite wet roadways. This is 35W at Lake Street. As you're traveling northbound, it's already a really crowded route up into Minneapolis. What we see here is an incident pulled over the shoulder. That isn't going to help things, and it looks like drivers, as they're kind of coming across maybe some of the debris from the crash, they're putting the brakes on as well, so do expect some added minutes to that drive time. Again, that's 35W northbound as you cruise up toward downtown Minneapolis, which I suppose you're not really doing much cruising at all, as you see right here. All right, let's see 35 at County Road 60. This is where some of the rain has definitely made its mark, and we do see northbounders taking it pretty slow here in the Lakeville area. Not a bad idea to take it a little slower when we have some weather issues, but I know it also adds some minutes to your morning drive, so just want to make sure you have a heads up on that so it doesn't catch you off guard. And one more camera we want to look at, the third one, if you can help me out there. We can see another incident that's slowing us down. It's 94 at Huron Street. Eastbound traffic is what's slowing here. Again, I-94 in between the two downtowns, a busy spot, not a good area to see this. Our map shows us that we saw the slowdown start first on the south side, again related to that weather, and then you now move a little bit to the north and we're seeing the issues there as well. Those yellow markers showing us the worst traffic, and of course plenty of orange and red out there. Our map jumping around a little for us, but just know typical traffic patterns, but on the south side maybe exacerbated just a little bit, if that makes sense. All right, time is 7:57. We're taking a break, but it seems so bad. We have a little rain, and as you saw, at least one crash. I'll tell you where you can expect the slowdowns. That's all coming up. Were they not blooming
They
for
weren't
you?
blooming for you.
They were tight little buds while we were
They
there.
were just shy.
It's all right. It's par for the course, isn't it, this
I know,
year
just
with
like
our season?
after I got back from Florida the day after, it was like 86
Then it was
degrees
beautiful.
and sunny.
Of course.
That happens.
We'll be seeing like snow in our trees. We can pretend they're little white flowers.
That's about right.
Yeah, we could do that. You've got little pink flowers on your dress.
Yes, put me and
That's
I'm
as
going
close
to the
as you're gonna
prom
get to
later.
flowers.
Very
Got it.
nice.
Keith
It's a
gave me a
lovely
corsage.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
I know. I'm really flattered. Outside, though, the snow isn't rolled in yet, but that could make driving challenging the next few days. Today, it's the rain. We're from the south part of the state and now reaching even the central metro area. So 94 right now at Huron Street. Not only do you see a little bit of moisture on those roads, but also an incident, obviously, over here on the right shoulder. It is slowing us down as you travel eastbound along that corridor in between the two downtowns, which is already busy at this hour. 35W at Lake Street. We now have an emergency crew on the scene helping move away some debris from an incident. Not only was the incident slowing us down, but some of that debris was as well. So it looks like that carpool lane blocked off at the moment. Do expect some additional slowdowns on 35W as you travel northbound into downtown Minneapolis. It is a busy route. 3094 at France Avenue, this interstate slow going in the eastbound side as well, although it looks like the rain not as big of a factor here, a little bit farther north. Let's go to our map and show you how things are looking there on the south side where the rain did begin. Now we are seeing extra slow moving traffic on northbound Cedar Avenue all the way starting down as far south as Apple Valley. We also had a crash at 66th Street, so that didn't help things here, but as you notice that dark orange red color, we do have patchy congestion. At times it does loosen up, so I wouldn't say, oh my goodness, avoid Cedar Avenue, but you can notice here in 35W and 169 all looking a little slower at this hour than usual. A little farther to our east, a lot better. The rain didn't hit us here quite as early, and also 94 has been smooth sailing through the morning into St. Paul. We haven't had any crashes. If you are flying out of the airport this morning, we hear reports of some delays heading into the Chicago O'Hare Airport, and a lot of Minneapolis flights go through there, so do check your flight status. It could be delayed as a result of some of the weather there. Now weather, a big talker in our area, especially with what is coming. I'm already prepared for the winter. I've had my boots on all winter long and haven't taken them off. I guess that was good planning. Today, you may look at your morning drive and think, oh, weather, why must you work against me again? Like here, 35W, the rain is coming down, it is slowing us down. We also have an incident here at Lake Street that is backing up traffic all the way to Diamond Lake Road. We can show you the congestion even a little farther south in here and showing you where those brake lights are going on. Here you go, so just north of the crosstown. But while you might be thinking today's weather isn't doing you any favors, what we have coming tomorrow, which is why I keep my boots on, that's just going to make things even worse. So do expect that your morning commute tomorrow could be messy, could be a little slippery, and it's just that rainy snow mix where you can't quite tell just how slippery it is at times. So just something we want to be mindful of now. Start to prepare ourselves for it. At least our winter driving skills have not gotten rusty. They have, we used them like yesterday. 94 here on street, we do still see an incident on the side of the road, working to get it cleared away, but unfortunately not soon enough. 8:32. This is typically when our morning commute starts to wind down, and still haven't gotten that cleared out of the way. Let's go to our map and show you how things are looking. With the rain coming down, we did see the slowdown start first on the south side because that's where the rain came first. Still seeing those slowdowns 35W northbound from the Burnsville split up to the Minnesota River Bridge. Cedar Avenue, finally that congestion starting to loosen up. That was backed up earlier into Apple Valley, but notice north of 35E up to the Minnesota River here, that's where we have our heaviest traffic still remaining on that northbound side. 169 northbound, some of those cameras I see the raindrops coming down. No huge backups, but still a little congested there on the northbound side. 494 in the crosstown. Heavy traffic there shouldn't surprise you at this hour, but just note it could be a few more minutes than normal as a result of some of the rain. The raindrops on the north side, not quite as big of an impact, and overall typical traffic pattern, so nothing I think you really need to worry about up here. But do watch until we get that crash site cleaned up on 35W. We're going to continue to see the delays down into Richfield. All right, it is time now to get back over to Tom and Alex.